Hello, welcome everybody out tonight. Essential oil spotlight is rose, and Jade will take us through this. This is a fantastic oil, and everybody will love it.
Yep. Okay, so it's a very special oil. Does anybody have experience with this oil that they want to share right away? Rose oil. Any fantastic experiences?
Wait. Let's unmute. I can see you speaking with.
I like to use it on my face at night, and then sometimes in the morning too. But and then I've used it as a perfume, which people usually can smell like really quickly. They'll ask me what I have on. I think that's it. I'm not sure if I've used it for anything else yet. I know I have, but I just can't think of what it was right now.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jamie?
How do I use it?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my audio wasn't working. I use it for everything. It's my new multi-purpose oil. I have it in my bag, and if my girls have like dry lips, I put it on. If they've got a cut, I put it on. If they fall over, I put it on. If my skin's itchy, I put it on. Dad's wounds, we spray it on. I feel sick, I rub it on. So, I don't know, I use it for everything. It's like my new go-to oil. Mm-hmm. It used to be frankincense, and now it's rose.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Excellent. Same here. All right. So rose comes in a 5 ml that you can't buy. You need to earn this one every year during the springtime usually.
I'm not sure if they'll do that now.
We'll see.
Well,
if you buy 5 ml, I mean, if you can win a 5 ml.
You should never be able to get rose except through that and the lotion.
It's about $100, so So this here, a 5 ml is about 300 and something. So if you can win it just by enrolling people, that's awesome there. So we had a few years of just lots of enrollment, so we got a whole bunch of that. And now you can actually buy it. I'm so glad because I was sharing my rose and I thought, we need to replenish. Now people can access this. And this is such a special oil, guys. It's such a blessing to have this certified pure therapeutic grade rose oil. That you probably can get rose scented stuff, rose water and stuff in lots of places. But in order for it to do the amazing things it does, you need this amazing high quality rose oil. So one of the first experiences was when Ben got a sunburn. And, he reached through all my bags and he just started dumping all the good oils on.
We had the rose lotion.
Yep. And then
so
we had the rose oil.
Very pretty.
He had the rose oil too. He usually burns very
rose,
quickly.
Lavender,
and then
frankincense.
It lasts for a whole week.
Yeah.
So we were at the beginning of our vacation and he thought it would be ruined by that sunburn, but we fixed it right away, and within one evening it felt better already, and the next day he was very happily surprised that it gave him that relief.
Yeah. It was a good thing.
Yep, it was fantastic. With my friend, her son, he has seizures, and it helps support his body, and it just helps him be, improve. And another experience was with Dr. Hill. He said that the rose oil that he had in his pocket, he used it on a lady who had a stroke. So she had a stroke and half her face was droopy, and he gave her a drop or so, and then rubbed it on. And within, right before his eyes, the side that was droopy kind of lifted up. So that frowny side, turned upside down and smiled. And he said that was the closest thing to a miracle that he experienced. And it was temporary, but he could see how amazing it is. So I did a lot of research on rose. So amazing. Just here is just the basic overview. Aphrodisiac and hormones for men and women, of course. If it's a floral oil, guys, it's for hormones, okay? It's for skin. These oils, this here is actually an absolute, just like neroli, jasmine is, sorry. So it's a lot heavier, and it stays longer, the smell, or the vibration. And it helps go into the brain and help with emotions and helping with hormones. So of course, great for skin. In hormones, is linked to ovulation, menstruation. But the other thing too is rose is by far the most powerful oil against environmental threats. Okay. So the most powerful oils against environmental threats. So there are some oils that can, help you have a strong immunity, but rose can beat that. So it's very powerful. We don't usually think of rose in that way, and not all of us use rose in that way. And I think it's fine not to use it in that way because other oils do that job so well, and there's lots of environmental threats that are eliminated with other oils. So
maybe they're very important jobs.
Yeah.
Turn to this one.
Yeah. So when it's super, super, super big, then turn to rose. But so just save the rose for some of the things that it really does well. And the other guys, they do the same jobs, and let them do it. Okay. So rose oil, one thing you need to remember about it is it has the highest vibrations of any essential oils on the planet. Vibration is sometimes some people are familiar with it, some people aren't. So basically, if you have this very high, happy vibration, your body, kind of matches that vibration too. So just one drop of rose oil on your throat area or your sternum here, it can affect a room of about 30 to 40 people. Okay, so that energy will lift up. So it's, even if you're just a happy person, you affect those people already. But imagine having rose, and it has that very, very high vibration. So if you think about having that energy, it'll boost your mood all day. It's an oil that kind of stays on your skin. It doesn't flash off as quickly as other oils. So I use rose oil right before I give my presentation. So I just put a drop here, and then I pray and I say, okay, here we go. Let me love these people and let me say what I need to say. And it carries that message to the people. And I watch people, and it's like magic. It's like they're eating out of my hands. They get it. All right. And I'm there for them. I want them to know that. Okay, so without that attachment of, oh, I got to sell, you actually have them where you want them to be, to think of their health and to heal. Okay, so, sicknesses have a low vibration. So if people are vibrating low, you feel it. So if you go to a hospital department where, terminally ill people, you do feel that heavy, sad feeling. If you're around people that are negative, more often than not, those people are sick a lot. Okay, so if you can have this vibration all the time, you're well above the vibration of illness. So it's very difficult for your body to be sick if you're vibrating that high. Okay, so that's what I mean with vibration. That's how you can use that vibrational information. Okay. Having high vibration like that, it helps with creativity, it helps with intuition. And I have a link here that takes you to a page, a post where I've written previously about vibrations and intuition. So you can read more about that if you're interested. Again, rose is great for skin. We'll talk more about that later. And rose oil is found in several products in doTERRA. So we have the rose the Immortelle or Salubel for the Aussies and other country. It's in Whisper. It's in the Virage Immortelle Hydrating Serum. And of course you have the rose oil lotion, and 100% of this proceed goes directly to the Healing Hands Foundation. Okay, so we get this once every month or once every other month. So it's great. So a question here, is rose blend as powerful as the rose oil? The blends, it depends, I think. It depends on if you want to concentrate the energy of the rose for a particular need, but always blends are more powerful when it's blended with other oils that are similar.
They'll have a synergy.
They have a synergy.
Yeah.
So that's why we have blends, and we make blends, because it kind of borrows that energy. Anytime we join it together, it is more powerful.
And if the question is comparing the Rose Touch, which you can now buy it with the rose concentrated, not diluted, which you can't buy anyways. Which one's better? The Rose Touch has, it's mixed with fractionated coconut oil, so it's going to stop it from flashing off. It's going to help drive it in. So on all of those points, it's going to be a better one to use, aromatically or topically anyways. So there's going to be a lot of benefits to that.
And I had a lot of people say that that the people that like rose is fine, but the people that don't like it, they think, oh, it's too strong in the 5 ml. Okay, so this is diluted just perfectly. I think that it's
not strong for those people.
Yeah, terribly strong for those people.
So it's a very good thing that they've prepared it that way.
Yeah.
It's all ready for, and it brings it down to an affordable, makes it affordable for everybody.
It's still about $100, but it's affordable now. It's accessible. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jamie says here she thinks it smells better diluted. Yeah.
It's with jasmine, that's right. Yeah. My Emily thinks jasmine smells like the lychee. Yeah. All right.
Any questions?
Yeah, we'll pause here. Anyone want to make comments?
All right.
So this rose is sort of my secret weapon. When I go out and I just really want to calm myself and influence people in a good, positive way, of course. Okay. So just put it here and send that message forward. Okay. Now let's go to the body. So it's great for skin health. Let's talk about skin health. I know it's broad, and it needs to be broad, because then I hope that people who are listening to this can apply it to different concerns. Okay, it can be dry, it can be itchy, it can be red, it can be scarred skin, it can be damaged or mature skin, it can be like the wrinkles, it can be, just any sort of inflamed kind of tissue concern. All right, there's plenty of research that it does a lot of good for any of those skin issues, whether it's on your arms or legs, your toes, your private areas, or even inside your body. So we've had research where it's inside the mouth, okay, some sores, and people take it internally too for tissues inside. So, even colon tissues. Okay, so I want you to think about it in that way. Understand that health concern and think, oh, that's tissue damage. And then you can see how rose can apply to that. All right. I know that it's, one of those expensive oils, but that word is very relative, because we have a lot of treatments out there that are very expensive. And here I think this is a good place to start, and you may not need to go that far if you're consistently using this oil. Okay. All right, so that's about skin. And now I'm just going to take it to the next level over for postpartum mother's perineum or perineal support. So women who, I wish I had this, who just gave birth, you can actually use the Immortelle blend. Okay, the rose oil's in there amongst other oils like helichrysum and frankincense and so many other wonderful oils for skin. So all the great oils for skin. That's why that bottle has a gold lid, because I'm thinking it's gold. So take off the roller bottle top, pour into a spritzer bottle, okay, and fill it up a third of the way, and then fill up the rest of that spritzer bottle. So that's 2/3 with fractionated coconut oil. Put the little spray top on, shake it up a little bit, and then you can spray it in the perineum area to clean the skin and to keep that area clean and protected, and helping that tissue be strong prior to birth and even during birth. That's if you're a doula and you know what you're doing, you can use that blend to massage the perineum area and around the vaginal opening, and then even after the birth you can spray that to help with speedy recovery. It's very, very good and very effective, and we've had lots and lots of people report back amazing stories. One lady, she had strep, and for her first 3 kids, and then she did this, and then when she went in with her 4th birth, the doctor said, hey, you don't have strep or whatever, and she's like, okay, that's great, and she knows that it's been helping her body keep everything environmentally very threat free.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean. And then just speedy recovery too. Okay. Any experiences or things to say about this?
Yes, I sprayed after my first child, after Savannah, and because I had a tear, it was very, very uncomfortable to go to the bathroom. So spraying this before and after really, really helped with the pain. And also I felt like it had helped me heal really fast. So within a week or so, it didn't hurt anymore.
That's excellent. Yeah, that's first-hand experience there. So I give this as a gift to some of my friends, the mama friends that are going into labour, and and they don't know about oils very much, and they use it and they come back and say, wow, was that? It's amazing. So it's a very good gift, guys. Okay. All right, so let's move on. So of course it's great for the calming and relaxing, and there are plenty of blends to help us sleep. We have some really killer ones that work every time, and there are those people that have lots of things happening inside their body, and so they may need a different combination once in a while. So here's another one. So this is a Sweet Dreams pillow spray. So you can mix a little bit of Epsom salt in this, 1/4 teaspoon, and then 4 ounces of distilled water, and then put it in one of those big glass roller bottles. Label it, of course, and put 3 drops of lavender, 2 drops of Roman chamomile, 2 drops of rose, and because it comes in a roller bottle, just pop off the top and then pour it in there. Okay, and 1 drop of wild orange. I know that some people think, oh wait, wild orange is stimulating, but it also does the opposite. It's very calming at the same time. So I use it for sleep too. Okay, so you can spray it on your pillow. It helps calm nerves and helps us overcome that hyperactivity. Sometimes you wind yourself up, big long day full of things happening, and it's a good time to kind of unwind. So lying there smelling it, and then you constantly smell it throughout the night, and because it's on your pillow.
Another reason why wild orange would help here is sometimes we get to the end of the day and we haven't completed our to-do list. Yeah. And we have everything going on and you're like, the day can't end, I'm not done yet. Wild orange is the oil of abundance. And so having abundant time, and realizing that tomorrow we'll be there, yeah. Everything will be okay, you'll have abundant time, just let you relax and think like, oh, I did my best. I'm ready to let go of the day, and letting go of the day is sometimes, welcoming the night, and you're able to rest easier.
Yeah, that's right. And for those people who have that occasional inability to sleep, or maybe it's not occasional, this may be a good blend for them. Okay, so I had 1 or 2 people try oils. This one particular lady, she said she's had a hard time sleeping for years, and she tried 1 or 2 oils, and she's like, nope, doesn't work for me. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, there's so many different blends to try. You know, just give yourself a chance. So if you have friends like that, let them know. There's other blends. You know, don't give up already. Mother Nature knows what to do. So just allow yourself to discover the right blend for you. Or maybe it's just time. It's time to, as your body heals, it's going to give you more relief. Okay, so the next thing here is about to relieve shock. So we could be shocked in many different ways. Bad news, even, you know, if it's just some accident or something that just shakes us up in our hearts and thumping in our throats. And we just need to shake it off, right? This is a wonderful blend to go to and use for that. So that's 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil, 2 drops of melissa, 2 drops of wild orange, 1 drop of rose, 1 drop of vetiver. And here you are, you've got this, and you just rub it all over you. It's sort of like a aromatic dressing. So over your heart, on your back. So on your back around the kidneys where the adrenal areas are, on your tummy, and just inhale deeply. Okay, it helps you feel centered and back to normal again. Because sometimes I have an ability to sense people, and intuition sometimes very connected to people, and there's times when people have turmoil in their life. And when I am with them, I'm helping them, I feel that same vibration too. So when our conversation's over, sometimes I have to, you know, get all that shock out of me. And that's one way to do that, okay? So we don't have to carry it and pass it on. That's the worst thing that we can do, create that chain reaction. I like what Dave Sterling says. He says sometimes you see poison and you just metabolize poison and not pass it on. Okay, sometimes it's hard. Yeah, we don't necessarily have to dump it on people all the time. Okay, it's healthy sometimes to just talk about it to a friend, but not all the time. Okay, so that's one way to help relieve and release all that shock. Alrighty. So that's that. Anyone want to say anything? Welcome, Peaches. All right.
Hi, guys.
Hi. This is exciting. This next one, brain electrical support. So I hope you kind of understand what that is about. So mix 2 drops of rose oil, 2 drops of sandalwood, 2 drops of copaiba, 2 drops of frankincense, and mix this together. This is a very powerful blend for the mind, the brain, okay? So rub it across your forehead, because your forehead, you know, all of the meridian systems go through your forehead. So you're tapping into all of the meridians, and then the back of your neck, where it's closer to your brains, okay, on your ears, on the reflex points, just all over the front of your ears and the back. Okay, and your big toes, and do that morning and night. So we have a lady, and her son has had seizures since he was about 12. And, you know, that's about brain electricals, right? And he's in his 30s now. And it was amazing to see her. And she told us a story about her son, how he has had a whole month of seizure free, because we've used this wonderful blend. It just helps the brain, support the brains, so that the cells start communicating again. There's a lot of reasons why people have these issues in their brains. You know, there's toxins, and there's some toxins are heavy metals and things that are intentionally put in you know, shots and medications to as preservatives. So, you know, we can help clean that out and help the brain cells communicate again. Okay, so that's very powerful. I'm very excited about that, because sometimes when you see these people, you think, what can I do to help? And that's something we can do. Okay. Alrighty. It can, you know, the other thing too, can be something as mild as memory. So it doesn't have to be elderly or anything. It's just memory or learning. Children that need help learning. And I do have a protocol where we do the brain dance, you know, just crossover, cross body. And that's a really good thing to do for those children too. There's things that we can do. I have a lot of hope, and I've seen a lot of wonderful results, but it's just sometimes too simple, and people like to go beyond the mark. And I think, well, I'm not doing that because that's it, you know. And I'm thinking, I've had a lot of friends that do just that, and they've found lots of relief. So just try that, guys. All right, and you'll see what I mean. All right. So the next thing here is libido. Okay, again, floral oils, great for libido concerns. You know, it helps with low libido, raising it and balancing it. Okay, so diffuse, inhale, rub rose oil on the bottom of your feet and ankles for men and women. It goes with the next one too. The next one is just balancing the hormones, because we have a world full of toxins, and sometimes our body can keep all that toxin and then cause a lot of imbalances. So, you know, through our diets and things. But you can use the rose oil in your massage blends and massage it on your body, and it'll absorb, and your body will know what to do to help with the balancing of the hormones. Basically, it's cleaning out your receptors and then helping your cells communicate again. All right. So in any particular place on your body, like I said, with your ankles, that's where your ovaries are for women and men in the same area. Yep, so people with prostate concerns, ovary concerns, you know, in your lower abs and in your private areas. And it's a wonderful oil. It's not strong or hot oil, so it's going to be great. It's not going to feel burning. Okay. Yep, fantastic. Okay, so this next thing is awesome. There's several research that help with this concern. So it says support regular ovulation, spasms, and cramps. Okay, so this is liberating for a lot of people in our society. Really, young women are having a hard time being fertile and having regular periods, and even painful periods, okay, because of the xenoestrogens in our environment. And here we have something that's might be able to help the body in that way. There's several research that proves that, and I've put links there. And also, it goes to the extent of helping with discomforts of contractions during birth. So I know with my sister, we did that. You know, during birth, we did geranium, and we did clary sage, another rose. Another oil to help with hormone, and it really helps with helping the body manage that discomfort. Okay, so rub it on the lower abs and the ankles. Keep doing that just consistently throughout the labor, and it helps you manage. So we were able to do 2 births for her 2 children, drug-free because of that. Okay, and it's doable. Women all around the world can do it. So can we. Alrighty. Any questions? Any comments? This is an amazing oil, especially for this time of the year. I had somebody tell me recently that they had a friend who just killed himself because it's a stressful time of the year. You know, if you know anybody that's stressed out or that's alone at this time, you know, if you can reach out, even give them a few drops, this is a wonderful oil to help them. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the mind. So rose oil is the oil of divine love. Okay, and the negative emotion that it helps remove is just bereft of divine love. So people who don't feel loved, don't feel like, you know, there's a God out there that loves them. They feel constricted with their feelings. They can't just fully let it out and just open up. Or they feel closed or brokenhearted. They lack compassion and they feel wounded, perhaps. Okay, so that's the oil that helps them get out of that negative rut. And so the positive emotion that it helps is to help them feel loved, help them feel compassion, healing, tender-hearted, accepted, empathy, and receiving divine love. Okay. So here's a blend. This is a big oil, and let me pause for a second. I had a gentleman who had some health problems that I was helping him. We did some energy healing, and his wife was sitting right next to him, and rose oil came up. And when something like big oil like this comes up, I'm thinking, there's something deep in here. And so I asked him about his childhood, and I asked him about today. So I said, do you feel like you have to work extra hard to earn God's love, to be blessed? He said, yes. You have to go 110%, to be blessed this much. And we asked about his childhood, and, he happened to tell a story about a bike that his dad promised to give him if he worked hard, and he worked hard, and he never honored that promise. So he never got that bike, right? And so this child, is still inside of him. He still feels like not hard enough, haven't earned it properly. So all his life, he had the false belief that you have to work hard. You have to, just bend over backwards, kill yourself, hard work. And that's a virtue, yes. But you can take every virtue to a vice. And because he's taken it to a vice, his wife says he's sometimes very hard, and it's difficult to be close to. He's tough on his children. He's tough. So anyways, we worked through that. And I asked him, can you smell it? And he said, not really. It's not really strong. And I said, just let's pour it out on your hand and just have a sniff. And he's like, no, really can't smell it. And his wife she's sitting here. She's like, I am sitting far away from, on the other side of him and far away from me. And she could smell it from there. And he's like, yeah. So we worked on one emotion after the next. And then at the end of the session, he's like, oh, I can smell it now. It's really nice. I can smell it. So he kind of changed the way he thought about God. How God will bless, and you see all the blessings, easier than what he expects. Anyways, the next week at church, she came up to me almost in tears. She says, I have a new husband, Jade. He's so soft and he's so tender. She said, thank you. And I was so happy to hear that. And that's amazing. That's what Rose can do for you, okay? To help you kind of take down those walls and allow more love in, okay? So it's an awesome story that I will always keep with me. Now, grief and grief coping blend, okay, is the next thing here on our list. Frankincense, 4 drops, coriander, 2 drops, rose, 1 drop, and cypress, 2 drops. Can you see how each of these oils, they have a purpose, if you understand the emotions of it. So you mix it together and just inhale, and it helps you not avoid grief, but go through it and then pass through it, okay, and allow it to make you stronger. Okay, so that's for grief. Okay, and people like to hold on to that grief and wear it as a badge, but here we allow people to go through it and then pass to the other side where it's a happy place. Okay, the next one is letting go, personal blend. So it's 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil. You can mix this in a separate container. 4 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of myrrh, 2 drops of rose, helichrysum 1 drop, Roman chamomile, 1 drop. Mix it and then use it and inhale as often as you can to let go of things. Sometimes it's things that we let go of, and sometimes it's people that we let go of. And it doesn't mean that those things or those people mean less to us if we let go. It just helps us know that we're going to be okay, you know, if we change, if we move on to a different situation. And here's a affirmation for you. It's a new way of believing and seeing the world. Okay, you can say, I am moving forward with happiness. The reason why we hold on, because we're thinking that, you know, that was as happy as we could get. Now, without those things, without those people, you know, the future is bleak and I'm not going to ever be happy like that again. And that may not be true. Okay, so that's letting go. Okay, the next one is self-acceptance for summertime. So for Dr. Susan Lawton, she gave these blends, and I thought there's a difference, isn't there, for the seasons. The summertime is, you know, the peak of energy and productivity, and wintertime is more of the reflection time. So this is self-acceptance. This is about you working on self-love. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil, 1 drop of rose. Because we have this already diluted version, you can probably use a little bit more. Ylang ylang 5 drops, Siberian fir 4 drops, and peppermint 2 drops. Okay, self-acceptance, it's energizing. You can rub it over your heart and your tummy and you inhale it, and you can say, I love and accept myself as I am now. Okay, so in this season of life too, this is who I am, and it's okay. It's okay to be human and to be me now. Okay, the next one is self-acceptance winter. 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil, 1 drop of rose, 1 drop of cinnamon, 3 drops of basil, 1 drop of myrrh, 3 drops of lavender. Okay, mix it together, rub it over your heart and tummy, and inhale. So all the people in Australia and in the Southern Hemisphere, you use the top blend, and the people in the US and the Northern Hemisphere, we're using the second blend here. Okay, so it's a good time to reflect, and you know, the more you can help yourself with the self-love, it's just going to be contagious for everybody. So I love and accept myself as I am now. Okay, that's your affirmation. Alrighty, so I'll pause. Anybody want to add anything, say anything to this?
Hi, Jade.
Yes, Peaches.
I heard something about they were talking about rose essential oil, something about it having the highest frequency or something like that out of all the essential oils. Or do you understand what that's about?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier before you got on. Yeah, so vibrations, you know about vibrations, right? Happy, perky people, you feel their energy already, right?
Yeah.
And rose oils like that, it helps you reach heavenwards. You smell it and you just feel happy already, but that's emotionally. But scientifically, they've proven that it does that to you know, mice and people, you know, in general. So if we have a high vibration all the time, we would be less likely to be sick. You know, people that are negative have low vibrations, right? You can feel it. People that are sick, they have low vibrations. You working in a hospital, if you go to the more of the maternity ward, it's more of a high vibration, isn't it? A happy one.
Yeah.
We have, you know, there's terminally ill and other wards that are really, you know, because these guys here, they're not really sick, they're just birthing babies. But these over here, they're sick. You can feel that energy. So sicknesses happen at a certain vibration and lower. Okay, cancer is one of the lowest vibrations. Okay, that's more self-hate, eating self up. And so if you can raise your vibrations high, they've done lots and lots of testing on this. I mean, happy people generally have higher metabolism, higher immunity, higher everything, okay? And life expectancy. So that's what we're talking about with the high vibrations. And I said earlier, if I use, say, the rose oil on my throat area, my sternum, I can, affect a room full of people, 30, 40 people, and influence them, in a happy, positive way. Yeah. So it's a great oil.
Put a drop on what do you say, your sternum and what?
Yep, and just wear that on your chest, okay? Because it's warm, and when you speak, it carries your energy forward.
Oh, wow. It's just a drop of rose oil?
Yep, that's right. So now we have that roller bottle, so you can just, roll it on.
Wow. Okay.
It's exciting. Yep. So I do that before I give a presentation or teach a class.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I heard, it's been said a couple of times about raising, it has the highest frequency out of all the oils. Is that true?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they said, they're vibrational, it helps the body, all the oils, but they said rose was the highest.
Yep, that's right. It's one of the highest. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's very low yielding, actually, so it's very difficult to get that. It's 2.5 dozen roses for one drop. So it's a lot of plant material.
Yeah, I when I was at the conference, I heard them talking. Dr. Hill was saying the process. It sounds so like, oh my gosh, it's like a lot they have to do, and they have to pick the flowers a certain way.
Nope.
Otherwise, lose the oils. It's like it was like a lot.
Yeah.
I can't recall the number, but I mean, it was just like comical.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm grateful for this. This is just amazing to have access to something so precious and so difficult to get. So yeah, how awesome. Yeah, how special. Yeah. I used to keep it in a separate box because it was so special. Now we keep it on our shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get I think they said, where did they get the rose from? Damascus?
Bulgaria.
Oh, Bulgaria.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they used to not have enough to sell at all. And they've just started more facilities in Bulgaria and working with the farmers and everything like that. And they've been working on it. And now they have enough that they can now sell it. It used to only be in the rose oil lotion.
Wow. No, didn't they have a promotion? I think it was either this year, the beginning of the year, where they was giving it was a little bottle of rose oil.
5 ml.
Yep.
5 ml rose.
$400.
This is what one looks like. I forget, like 2.
Yeah.
You have that?
Yeah.
Right here.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, you had to get I remember I thought this is an impossible task, but I mean, that's how I was thinking back then, I have to be honest. But they wanted, you had to sign up 20 people. And then I remember they had a rose promotion, but you was getting all these oils. Was it it was a 5 ml bottle?
Yeah.
Yep. It's only a 5 ml bottle. So they've done this.
And jasmine as well.
Promotion for several years.
That used to be the only way you can get it, but now you can get it in the touch, which is a really brilliant way of packaging it.
So that's like 11 enrollments, and you have to help those people with LRPs and things. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good promo, but I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was surprised too, but the first couple of years I got the rose every time, so I felt like at the end of it, I'm like, oh, it wasn't that difficult. It was over 2 months, so you think about it, maybe 5 people a month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get there. I really am. I think I got four people under me so far.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
good.
We've got 4 people, and I'm trying to get 2 more on board.
You take care of the people that you have, and before long it'll grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So here we have the next thing is a personal trusting blend. Yep, we do have issues with trusting ourselves. So this is an amazing oil. Geranium is about trusting yourself, and geranium is like the poor man's rose, and this is like the actual rose. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of fractionated coconut oil, 3 drops of Roman chamomile, 2 drops of lemon, 2 drops of melissa, and 1 drop of rose. And you can mix it together and just inhale and tell yourself, I have all the intelligence and wisdom I need for the current situation. And just allow yourself to make decisions. And intuition is about feeling like it's right, and then every time that you follow intuition, you're always right. Sometimes it just trumps the logic sometimes. Okay. Alrighty, so this is the other thing that I read about is the post-birth blues. Okay, 1 drop of rose, 1 drop of wild orange, 3 drops of sandalwood. Mix it together and diffuse. On your pillowcase, you can use it during bedtime, just to help your brain reset, because it's this new stage of your life. Things are changing. You've got physical change. It's changing back to how you were before, but then now you're breastfeeding, or because of the lack of sleep and the diet, maybe you don't have enough time to eat properly, and lack of nourishment. All of these things can add to and cause lots of sadness and lots of grief. And sometimes grief is about change and letting go of old and accepting new. It doesn't necessarily mean you've lost something. I guess it's sort of lost the old. If you've been just you and your husband for a while, and now you have a new child, and you've lost that freedom maybe, but there's different versions of grief. So rose oil can help with that too. So, it helps us just have a greater level of joy, because we think we're going to have so much fun, and then all of a sudden, there's this huge change. Okay, so if you feel like you need extra help, I would add another drop or 2 of melissa oil to that blend, and then diffuse. Okay, so you want to enjoy this time with your new baby. Okay, so that's that. The next blend is a bath blend for dealing with disappointment. Okay, so you're allowed to let it go, and feel that pain and sadness and disappointment if you have some. So you can use 2 drops of rose, 1 drop of melissa, and mix it up. Rub it on yourself. Put half a cup of Epsom salt into your bath water, and then soak in that bath water for at least 10 minutes, and allow yourself to go through that. Okay, and it's human. Don't suppress things. If you feel sad, don't suppress it. It's only when you don't take yourself out after a while, out of the pit, then that becomes a concern. But we're humans. We're allowed to go through that whole spectrum of emotions. Okay, so I know a lot of people, they see sadness, somebody crying, you got to fix it now. And I know good meaning husbands do that a lot. I had a friend that she took antidepressants for 20 years, and she says to me one day, she said, I just want to cry. I just want to feel sad, because I don't feel sad and I don't feel happy. And, she said, I feel like a robot. And I'm like, that's not a good way to be. And of course, I know that antidepressants atrophy your brain receptors by 6% up to 60% in the first year. So that's the other bad thing too. But so when she started using essential oil, she was so happy for a couple of months, and I was so happy for her. But I knew that, sometimes you're happy, guess what? Sometimes you're going to be sad. And before long, she had a breakdown, a meltdown, and she started crying one day, and her husband was so upset. And he's like, oh, no more oils. You better get back on those pills. And she came to me and she's like, oh, I was told to get back on pills. And I said, what's happened? She told me the story. And I'm like, you're human. You're allowed to have these ups and downs. There's moments where we're allowed to cry. I mean, imagine all the pent up tears of 20 years. It needs to come out sooner or later. So let it pass, right? Let it go through and let it out. And so interesting. Okay. So it's okay to cry, basically. And the other thing too here that I have in the mind, there's so much to say about Rose, but I just picked my favorite things. And here is about mothers of premature babies. And you know me, I'm about kids and moms and stuff. And so this is very close to my heart. So you use 4 drops of frankincense and 1 drop of rose. And you mix it in your hands. Okay, and you can put it on the bones of your ears, and then you know you can hold your newborn, and of course you know we encourage that skin to skin. But anyways, especially these preemies, they need that connection. So if you have that magic high vibrational hands, right? You know, and you're holding that baby, it helps support rapid mother-baby connection. And it helps, you know, if you can touch the baby's ears, touch the baby's lung area, touch the baby's brains and heart, helping that baby, sending the charges into the baby's body, you know, sending that baby confidence and energy that they're going to be okay, they're going to be able to grow and overcome it even though they're little. Sometimes we do that, you know, subconsciously. We have, you know, little kids, we think, oh, they're not going to be able to do stuff, and they fulfill that expectation. So here we are sending that I'm confident in you, you're going to get through this, you're going to grow, you're going to be healthy. And they do. All right, so that's important. All right, what do you guys think so far? Some helpful things to do with rose oil? Lots of friends and family that we can help?
Yeah, that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of things that you can do.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get into something deep here. All right, so it's spiritual. So anytime I help people with physical health or emotional health or even financial health, you know, I know it's always a spiritual connection to God problem. Okay, so rose oil is such high vibration, it helps us reach heavenward, and it helps with every aspect of our lives, and it improves everything. So, you know, sometimes we have the illusion of the material life, and we reach some sort of elementary understanding of life. And, you know, normally it leads us to just unknowingly being selfish. So anyways, we allow ourselves to have more maturity as we use these essential oils, spiritual maturity, and then we start to look beyond our current situation today, our current issues, and look out and then see more spiritual connections and solutions. Okay, and the solutions are very simple. You know, when we're down here in our elementary stages, we think everything's too complicated, too hard, too overwhelming. But when you start reaching out, you see that everything has a very simple solution to it. And, you know, you can chillax about things more. And that's how I feel as I have grown. I think, wow, you know, as I get closer to God and nature and stuff, there's so much health, so much power, so much purpose and joy and love and peace and, you know, in this existence. Okay, so our personal problems start to be reduced and or eliminated as we, you know, keep developing that ability, you know, to grow abundantly. All right, so this picture below, have a look at this here. It's a gradient. So in the middle is just white light, and it's pink, and then it gets darker and darker on the outside, on either direction. Okay. So basically, this is how I see things in my mind. I see pictures like this. So, you know, in the middle is just connection to God, just love, white light, strong power, intelligence. Very simple, very clear. And then, you know, you've got that pink around it. It's just sort of like love and connection to God, each other, humanity. So anytime we're connected to other people, you know, in a healthy way, they're connected to us, we're happy, we've got purpose, we've got meaning. And anytime when we move away, we look inwardly, we separate ourselves, you know, through different things, we feel sad, we feel unhappy, and we feel lonely, and we feel doubt, and we struggle. So on one side, you know, either side you go to, one side it's, you know, as far away from the light as you go, the more selfish we get, right? It can be self-aggrandizement. That's comparing, right? And, you know, some people, they will insist on other people being lower and less. And then we actually are disconnecting ourselves from God and people. Okay, so they measure their worth by success, for money, things, stuff. Okay, so that's self-aggrandizement. In reality, really, as we get closer to each other, to God, we're really the same. We're really just like each other. Okay, and on the other extreme, we have people that are self-abusive, and that's selfishness too. And they rely on their own will, the only way that they know how is how they've been doing it, you know. And they think if they think the same, they don't realize that they're thinking the same things and getting the same results. So it's again another way of disconnection to God and others, and it still doesn't bring us happiness or peace or joy. Okay, and the peace and happiness is just you know, being connected to God and being selfless. Selfless, like I mentioned before, it's not thinking less, thinking of yourself less. You know, thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. So it's allowing yourself to see your unique role and influence within the whole. So seeing your part, what part you play in the big picture. So seeing your value, basically. So that's what I've discovered. I think when I was worried about me and my problems and, you know, my pains, my aches, you know, my financial problems, my children, you know, I didn't see the big picture of who I really was until I reached out, and then you know, all of that kind of fell away. So pretty amazing. So smell the rose oil to help you with love and gratitude. And I have some supportive beliefs here. I've listed it out, but I have some activities for people too. So these are my suggestions. And before you go to bed, if you can write 3 good things every day, all right, for the next 2 weeks, right, and pray and give thanks for those good things, you become a happier person in that very short time. You know, we think, oh, if I can pay off my debts, if I can, whatever, you know, the debts will be paid off faster if you're happier. I promise, you know, your business will grow faster if you find more happiness now. Okay, happiness begets happy, or is attracted to happy. So sometimes we wait, you know, until this happens, until that happens, and then when after the holidays, then I can do this. No, you can actually do it today. So go to bed tonight and pick 3 things that you can be grateful for. Thank the world, thank the universe, thank for that. And then after those two weeks, add this other activity on too. And then next activity is to serve somebody, to think of somebody and to do something for them. And then it helps you, you know, be even happier. Okay. So think of, you know, you feeding, you know, sometimes people say, well, how can I help people if I've got all these problems? You know, we really can. And there is a way if you just look outwards, you know, I promise that, you know, you're not going to be caught up in your little circle anymore. Okay. So, you know, like that long handle spoon allegory, you know, if you feed them, they feed you. Okay. So help others out. Anyways, there've been studies that, you know, just you changing and raising your vibration, trusting yourself, loving yourself, connecting to God more will help influence, you know, over 1,000 people in that circle of influence. Okay, so rose oil can help us get started there. And just before I end, I have these supportive beliefs. These supportive beliefs help us really connect and reach heavenwards. So this one says, I am equally important to others. You know, so when we believe that we're not, if you ask yourself, do I feel that? If you're not, then are you on that side or this side of that spectrum? Okay, and then really convince yourself that you are equal, you're just the same. And then we are all connected to each other. Okay, so we're more powerful as one. And I am content and grateful for what I've been given. Okay, I accept and surrender to God's will. And, you know, whatever it is that's happening in your life, it's a good thing because it teaches you something. It may be for the best in the long run. I love and accept others where they are or where they're at. And compassion, empathy, how I love and connect to others. Prayer and meditation connects me to God, which connects me to others, and I am fulfilling my calling. We can and need to all rise together. So I need to put a comma in that one. But anyways, that's about rose. I mean, that's what I learned from using rose and helping people with rose oil. Alrighty, guys. That's all I have to say. Anyone want to add to this? Or any questions? Well, I hope that made sense to you.
It was a very good lesson, Jade. Very good lesson. Even though I came on the end part of it, I would just like to ask, what would you suggest when you using the rose roll-on? Where should you start? I heard you say something about the back of the neck. I mean, what do you think would be a good start? Like the back of the neck, the heart, the wrist, the foot, the bottom of the feet?
Yes, all of the above. You know, especially the heart. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I think it also depends on what you're using it for, what you want to get out of it. If you wanted to, like Jay was mentioning earlier, before she talks to people, she puts it on her sternum, project it, and kind of build a connection and increase the love of the people that you're talking to. If you're maybe trying to increase your libido or heal from some sexual trauma, on your ankles, that's the reflex point for your organs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your reproductive organs.
Yeah, the oils are smart. It knows where to go in your body too. So, Robert, where you feel intuitively that you need it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we also mentioned earlier that rose is very helps support our immunity against environmental threats. So if you have a cut, scar, or some skin blemish that you're trying to address, putting it just where you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
But I think if most of the time, if you just rely on your intuition, and you got somewhere you got to put it on your abdomen or on the temples, the back of your neck. Those are all really important points in your body.
And Peaches, you're a nurse, so you know you're going to be fighting against the training that you've had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do it every day.
Yeah. Well,
good.
thank you
That's
so
a really
much,
good question,
guys.
Peaches. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on to our call. Alrighty.
Any other questions about Rose? I'm pretty excited that now it's available for purchase. It's one you want to look out for. And like Jamie said, she used to go to frankincense for everything, and now she uses rose.
Rose is available. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I try to use it with my kids a lot.
I think there's we can't do justice for it, but Jade's done a really good job of talking about all the different points.
She does. She does a good. Both of you. I give you credit for that. You really do.
Thank you,
Peaches.
Alrighty, we'll end our call here.
So I'll stop the recording. Oh, just before we stop, I just want to let everybody know that this is the last essential oil spotlight for the year.
Yes.
Because next Tuesday is December 26th, and we're not going to have a spotlight. And the Tuesday after that is January 2nd, so people will be just coming out of holiday mode. And so Jay's decided to skip that one as well. And then we're into spearmint is the next oil, and then petitgrain, and that's it for all the single essential oils. So if you have any single essential oil, it'll be on jadebaldwin.com.
We won't talk about Manuka yet.
Yeah.
Because
and then we'll start on the blends with aroma touch and everything. So just wanted to let everybody know that as well. And obviously, also this will always be available on the YouTube channel and on the podcast. Okay.
Yep.
And if you're looking for business support, on benbaldwin.com, and Tuesdays we're meeting before this class for business topic.
And that's at 7, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's at 7.
Yeah.
I was working tonight, so I couldn't get on like I would like to. So.
we recorded it, so hope you look out for it. Okay, I'm going to stop the